Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another session for the week 3. So you have already heard my lecture for lesson 5 and lesson 6. Those are the two important chapters that I want you guys to focus for week 3. So now in regards to week 3, I also assigned you guys to complete lesson 7 and 8 as well. So 7 and 8, there is nothing much for you guys to look at, but I definitely wanted to just have this video available to you guys. When you complete chapter 7 and 8, you guys can understand what are the things that you need to look for and why those chapters are there and what you guys need to know in regards to the assignment that you guys will be doing by the end of this week. So again, if you guys are doing 7 and 8, you have two options. You can either continue right after you finish lesson 6 and complete lesson 7 and 8. But if you don't want to do that, what you can do is you can come back to the application later, and if you're using the computer installed software installed on your computer, you can continue from where you left. But if you don't have the software installed on your computer, what you can do is you can come back to this after, and from the blackboard, let me just go back on the blackboard on your side. So on your blackboard side, what you will see is, so you are in, so I'm just going to go in 545 section. So under the learning material, week 3, that's where you find all the resources. You have end of lesson 6. You can download this one on your computer because you do need an end of lesson 6 to work on lesson 7 unless and until you're working on your own file. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Humber AppStream. So I have downloaded the file that I need. Now I need to log in to the Humber AppStream. I'm sure you guys know the drill by now. You have been doing this for a long time. So you log into Humber application and click on Sage 300. And what are the next step? You need to upload the file into the temporary folder. Then you are going to unzip the file using the 7-zip, and then you are going to do a database load to Omni Electronics. Once that part is done, then you are going to open Sage 300 and review the exercise from chapter 7 and 8. Okay, I want all of you to do 7 and 8 together at least, because there's not much. Most likely you need half an hour to 45 minutes to do those chapters. So now, before I start, I can just elaborate what 7 and 8 is about. So 7 tells you how you can drill down into the account transactions. So remember, in simply accounting in Sage 50, you can go into the trial balance and double click on the accounts, and it will take you to the actual transactions. You can do the same thing with the Sage 300 as well, but it's a different process. Then I will also show you how you can do the fiscal set comparison. Remember, in chapter 5 you set up the budget. Now you have recorded some transaction in lesson 6. Now I can show you is how you can do a comparison from the actual versus the budget. So those are the key learning objectives from lesson 7. And lesson 8, I'm just going to show you what are the important information that you need to look at when you're closing the financial statement and the period you're closing the journal ledger module. Oops, I'll keep opening this one. So there it is, my AppStream is open. So now you see that this is the temporary folder. You click on My Files, go into Temporary Files. You need to upload the file. So we can upload the end of lesson. End of lesson 6. We upload that. Now we need to zip it. Going to temporary file, we need to unzip it. So we're going to click extract, press OK. This has been extracted. I will close it. Now I need to do a database load. Admin. And I will find the location, which is the parent folder, which is this one right here. And I will link OmniDat with OmniDat and OmniSys with OmniSys and click finish. Now that is done. Now the final step is I'm going to open the Sage 300. So you open the Sage 300 and select the OmniDat, and we're going to put the session date 01/31/2021. There we are. And the very first thing that you do is you change the company name to include your name at the end. And we can put your name here as well, and then click save and close. Okay, now you're ready to start chapter 7. So now chapter 7, as I mentioned earlier, is looking into the GL account. So now to do that, there are different ways you can go through. One, you can go into GL accounts, look at the chart of accounts, and for example, I want to drill down to the bank account. So double click on the bank account. This will take me to the bank account. So okay, so that is not the right way. The right way is you go into the account history inquiry. You click on the account history inquiry and pull up the account that you want to find. For example, I want to see bank account, and you see that the bank account, it tells me what the transaction was for a particular period. So now this is not like a simply accounting. I have the flexibility to select the range. You cannot. You can only look at one period at a time. For example, I wanted to see what happened in January. So in January, they said that there was a net change of 24,157. That means the in and out. Looked at both. If you double click on it, then it shows you the transactions, right? So it shows you that these are the transactions that happened. Okay. Now remember what I told you initially. It's important to use the source codes. So now if I want to see all the sales, I can click on the source code and say I only wanted to see sales. So I select the sales. It only shows me the sales transaction. Okay, I want to see all the receipts. So I click the receipt, cash receipt. It shows me all the receipts that happen in the bank account. That's how you can drill down. And if I don't have the source code, it will show me all the transactions that happen for that particular month. And you can do that for any bank account, any GL account. Okay, but you can only do that by fiscal period. There is no flexibility for you to select the date range, so you always have to do it period by period. So the best way to do is look at the account history. You can also do that through the accounts as well. No, you cannot actually. So you only have option is to go through the account history inquiry. Transaction history inquiry, you can do that. Yeah, this was the second method that I was looking for. You can click on the transaction history inquiry and again pull up the account. It takes you to the same place that you went through using the account history. So that's an important information. The second thing I want you guys to see is a fiscal set comparison. So for example, I set up a budget for my revenue account and I wanted to see how well did we do for the first month. So I can go into the account and pull up my revenue account, which is the sales account, and say let's see the account 4500/100, and then here picks up that. Then what do you want? You want to compare the actuals with budget 1. Remember I told you there are 5 different budgets. We're only using budget 1. And I click on the arrow, and this tells you that my budget for the first month was 52,000. How much did my actual sales was? 28,286. So that means the difference is 23,796. That means I'm out by 23,000. So I didn't meet my budget. And what is the percentage? I'm out by 45.69%. So that's how you can do a comparison for the different budgets. Now you can do that for the second account, 45,200. Again, actual versus budget. Click on the arrow and you see the budget again. Say our budget was 49, but you only did 22,000. Okay, and you're down by 53%. And you can do that for any revenue and expense account that you set up the budget for. Okay, so those are the two information that was very important from chapter 7. Now there's no reports that I'm going to be asking you to print from this chapter, so you guys are okay in regards to that. Now from chapter 8, there are various things that are there in chapter 8. Now do you need to know all of them? No, not for the purpose of the test, but definitely there's some great information in chapter 8, so I want you to go back and read chapter 8. Okay, it's important you understand the different parts that are relevant for the GL closing. So a couple of things I wanted to show you guys in regards to the closing process. So when you are closing the general ledger module, you want to make sure that all the batches that you have here, you see that there are so many batches, all of them should either be posted or deleted. If there's any batch that's left here that is open, that should be related to the new period, not for the previous period that you want to close. Okay, that's the most important information. The other information that the book tells you to review is the chart of accounts. So you may see that the book tells you in exercise 8.2 that there are different control accounts. What are the meanings for setting up the sub ledger for those? So review that information. That is very important information that you'll be using in the next couple of weeks in the new modules. So it's not important for this assignment or the first test, but that is important for you to review it so that we are well prepared in the future chapters. So I'm not going to go through it. I don't want to give you guys more information that's what you need to know, but it is important you review it. It definitely will help you in the future modules that we're going to cover. So other than that, I think we're okay. There's nothing much I want you to focus on chapter 8. The only last piece that I want you to see what reports I may ask you from chapter 8 is the batch status report. So remember I told you to review the batches, and I can ask you to print me a batch status report. Before I print it, I want to make sure print destination is set to preview, paper size, orientation A4. And now I can click on batch status and click print. And see that there I can see the list of all the GL accounts, all the batches that you had. And what I can do is, if I want, I can export it into a PDF, okay, and save it on my temporary files, and I will save it as lesson 8 batch status. Okay, and then close it. And remember what I told you is anytime you save a report, you don't want to take a risk. You just click on it so that way it gets saved on your C drive right after that. Okay, and that will finish up your chapter 8. Okay, again, do database dump if you need to, but chapter 7 and 8 I'm not very picky about the backups. But again, if you are one of the students who wanted to make a backup for every single file that you work on, you do a database dump after you finish lesson 8. Okay, thank you everyone for listening, and I will see you in the class. Take care. Bye bye.